Welcome to the Last Week This Week review of Season 2, Episode 4 of The Last of Us. I'm Ian Scott.
And I'm Zack Huber.
And as always, let's just get into it. We're going to start with some non-spoilers as per the usual, but we'll get into some spoilers pretty soon. And so you want to start us off?
Yeah, so after a pretty somber and a little less action-packed episode from episode 3, this time we're just diving straight in to the middle of a war-torn Seattle.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say that this is like up there with the best Last of Us episodes, but it was pretty
really good.
It was really good. There were some really tense moments that,
oh my gosh,
I was like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? But the things that happen from those moments, kind of push the story for characters' relationships in a really natural way that felt good. And you also started to get some background against background with, I guess, the leader of the WLF, which is Isaac, which is very cool to see that they got, they're getting Jeffrey Wright to reprise his role from the game. And
amazing actor.
Yeah, I love Jeffrey Wright. This episode all around, like, I think I was thoroughly entertained. I felt like you got a little bit of everything. You got some really sweet, emotional moments. You got some really violent, sadistic moments. You got some humor here and there. And you got some really crazy action set pieces that were some of the show's best. I would say, like, some of the best Last of Us set designs, and
I think it's also
moments were in this episode.
I think it's some of, like, I know they're not zombies, but like it's some of the best like zombie action I've seen. Like, I feel like ever, maybe. I don't know. Like it's genuinely like the whole theme and vibe of this episode was just like tense, and like I was tense almost the entire fucking time I was watching it. And it was for multiple reasons. I mean, it was like intense. I mean, I don't want to go too spoilery, but like intense one-on-one conversations and intense interrogations and backstories and running from infected. Like it was all there. And it was a great juicy story. So I don't disagree with anything you said. It's got everything you want in an episode.
Yeah.
But let's get into some spoilers.
You're probably a little bit better at handling
the breakdown.
Breakdown.
Yeah. Sure. So I will say, like, we started off at a great like backstory, like kind of flashback 11 years.
Right.
With Isaac,
and you got a nice little
Josh Peck
cameo from Josh Peck.
Yeah, it was a nice surprise. He plays a little piece of shit in this, who is totally fine with his superior, I guess, killing innocent people, which is, I guess
or just beating up on innocent people.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty gruesome picture he painted of the guy smashing his head into the wall and like teeth fumbling all on the ground. Yeah. And Isaac is the leader in charge of this Fedra group. He's the sergeant, and there's a group of people who kind of block the road, and he gets out and is like, let me bring this one guy. Let me teach you something, because it seemed like he was the most compassionate, maybe, of that group. And he confirms that this group is possibly WLF, who he is trying to team up with, and he turns back and throws 2 grenades into this car, and it's like, holy shit. And then he guns down the guy who, like, crawls out the truck, and Super intense scene to start the episode off with, but that's just showing you what kind of guy Isaac is. Somebody who's willing to do whatever it takes, it feels like. And yeah, somehow from that point to 11 years to the future, he's become the leader of the WLF. We see a scene, I think the only other scene we see him in this episode is when he's interrogating the Scar, who they captured. And
yeah, I think that they go by like Cerabites
or Seraphites.
Seraphites, yeah.
Yeah. But the WLF calls them Scars as a kind of derogatory name. And we get to learn a lot more about Isaac and like the whole conflict, which I thought was really interesting. Like throughout the episode, you get those pieces of like, so the Seraphites aren't good people either. You have, I mean, especially I will say like the one scene that comes later on when Ellie and Dina discover that room of just hung people with their insides, stripped out of them.
Yeah,
and
I didn't realize their insides were out until the like after the show breakdown.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize that the guts were out.
I didn't get to watch the breakdown this time, so you might have some more insights than me. But yeah, and then you hear Isaac like when talking to this person he's interrogating, he's like, look, yes, we've done all this shit to you, but you've done the exact same shit to us. And like, who knows who started it all, but we're just in a cycle of violence now and until the other group dies. And you get to see that like the Seraphites are truly like radical kind of culty religious people who, this guy like stuck out his arm like willingly to be tortured instead of giving up, the information on his people. And it causes Isaac to just be like, all right, well, you can die now. And so, I mean,
well, and we had
shows both their hands.
We had talked about previously that I think that the prophet is
you think they're still alive, right?
No. Not that they're still alive. I'm certain that they're dead. I'm just gonna say that there will most likely be a backstory, a flashback of who this character is and why all of this happened. Maybe they'll leave it up and be like, because he mentions her again, like, when will you people realize she was just a normal person or whatever? But I feel like, and maybe they'll leave it at that, but I feel like they're going to dive even deeper into
who this person was.
Right. Because they even, that Seraphite follower was saying, like every day,
I did
hyperbolically speaking, like metaphorically, like every day one of your people turns to one of us, but never does one of us turn into one of you, which
that is showing something.
Probably, I think it's meant to allude that like there's an unhappiness in the WLF, like, and at least the Seraphites are offering something, but it's at the same time, it's like, it's kind of still this culty religion thing.
I think at the base of it, they're not too different, but like
no.
The Seraphites have the advantage of like, you're serving a higher power, right? And to where it almost seems like dignified in what they're doing, but WLF is just like cruel soldiers,
Right.
And like you saw that guy outside the door kind of being like squeamish towards the sounds he was hearing. And it leads me to believe that guy will probably at some point turn against WLF.
If they ever go back to him.
But it does kind of like point in that direction of the Seraphite being right in the sense that you got a lot of people leaving your group and coming to ours. So I love that pissed off Isaac. And he was like, all right, well, you're getting burned again. And I can't wait to see more of him and how brutal he'll be going forward. But the other part of this story is Ellie and Dina. And you see them. I think the first thing you see them do is they're in a pharmacy and kind of leads. It's like the first little seed, actually kind of the second, right? Because Dina does like, didn't she get sick before? Like
she threw up when they saw all the bodies in the forest.
Right. That's when they threw up, right? And so that was your first little inkling. And then here you don't see what she spots, but she's like, hey, I gotta go pee. And obviously like this leading up to her saying I'm pregnant, right? And I thought it was good. Like I really didn't expect it. I didn't know. And I think like it just felt like, oh well, not everyone has seen what Ellie has seen, right? Like this is some really like gruesome shit that Dina's looking at, maybe for the first time. And but yeah, I mean, props to them for throwing me off the trail. But yeah, you also get a kind of funny moment where like they see all this pride stuff around town.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't know what this is. It's just a happy bunch of people, I guess. And yeah, had a lot of pride. But yeah, they finally get to a point where they see the WLF tower, and they're like, okay, you know, let's hunker down here until night. They're gonna see us coming from a mile away because we're on horseback, and we'll sneak in then. And what happens after that? I'm trying to remember.
Well, they go in. They wait till nightfall. And
oh, right.
They go into the music store. They go into the music store.
Oh, that's one of my favorite parts.
And,
oh man, yeah.
And they've already been subtly hinting like Ellie loves music. She's got the guitar connection with Joel.
Yep.
And so luckily there's
a pristine.
Now I don't know like if the two bags that were on the guitar were like new strings, or if they were like the thing, like those things that you put inside.
So are you saying like regardless of how untouched it is, it would need new strings after like this many years?
No, well, I mean, you always want to have strings just in case a string breaks. Like, what are you gonna do?
No, I got you. But she didn't like take it with her, right? I mean,
she seemed really happy that the bags were there. The thing that I wanted to say was I don't know if they were new strings or picks, or if they were like the packing material. Like sometimes they're like, don't let your kid or your animal eat these things, and it's kind of to like there's like a certain like chemical that it has that keeps things a little bit more clean or pristine. I forget what it is. They put it in they're like little salt baggies or stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if maybe that was what that was. But yeah,
I assumed her happy reaction was just to seeing this guitar perfectly untouched.
I mean, she kissed the bags. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. I don't know.
But anyways, so she starts playing "Take on Me," which is the Deadpool 2 had the unplugged MTV version where Aha does it acoustically.
Oh,
and
nice.
So that was the first time that I heard it acoustically. Was like back in, what was
2018?
that, like 2018? Yeah, probably 2018.
I think it was. Yeah.
And yeah, that sounds about right because Logan was 2017. Yep. And that solidified for me that song is like, don't get me wrong, the original one is great.
Oh, but the acoustic's so good.
But the acoustic one, I think, elevates it to like a different sort of place.
It's a different like a totally different vibe and song almost. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah.
And then you have Bella actually performing it.
I was surprised. I genuinely thought they might have gone like they might have overlaid like Ashley Johnson's voice, like the original voice actress. Yeah. But I was happy with how Bella sang. I think it worked better to have her sing it than to like overlay somebody else's.
And with that scene, I was very impressed by Bella, but I was really impressed with Isabella Merced.
Oh, okay, that's her. Yeah.
Like she totally sold me on that. She was like falling in love with this person.
Yeah. And this is like the most beautiful moment that she's ever captured.
Probably,
you know? Yeah. I loved it.
It was a beautiful moment, which then leads into them, it's nighttime. They go into the radio station, and
that's when they see all those dead bodies being hung up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like the most Dina throws up again because she's pregnant, but we don't know it.
Right.
And then starts the beginning of one of the most tense 20-minute sequences
But you know what was great about it too, though, is that like even though it was such a long, like tense like moment for them, and or just series of events, I guess I should say, it felt almost like, and it's not even a bad thing, but it felt like a video game. Like when they were
like the
they've been
cutscene,
called
you walk
in.
into the thing, and then a cutscene happens, and the guys walk in,
and then all the guys walk in, and you're like, okay, now I'm playing.
And then the next time that you play, you're behind the crates,
the cover. Yeah. It felt so right to me. And then I guess I missed it before we got into this, but like I thought it was very interesting that I think Dina is the one who asks, like, if we come across any WLF who are not, the people who killed Joel, what do we do? And they both just like gave each other a look like, yeah, we're still gonna kill him. And I'm like, that's a different philosophy than what like Abby and her group took. Like they only killed Joel and wouldn't kill anyone else.
Right.
So,
but it was also important, like walking in there, because they were like, oh, this was that other group that killed the WLF. And they were just like, what the fuck is happening?
There's a war. Yeah.
And then you get all these WLF guys who are like trying to find out if there's anybody still there. And both Dina and Ellie are both trying to find whatever way that they can to get out of the place. And Ellie decides to go upstairs, which is fine. I mean, I guess there wasn't that many options. But,
I get it. You're hoping there's an opening up there, and there wasn't.
And it did lead to a pretty sweet takedown.
Sure, two of them.
With that WLF guy, like her just choking him out and then stabbing him in the neck, and then
and then Dina shooting the guy in the head behind.
Yeah.
I mean, two immediate deaths to the WLF.
Right.
So yeah, I'm curious to see if there's going to be consequences to those kind of deaths.
They go down the fire escape, crawl into the old subway tunnel,
and that is where it gets even more intense. And they figure out a way into the tunnels pretty fast, and they're looking for them. But then all the clickers all the infected start hearing all these noises, and like a horde of 100 of them come out. It seems like, apparently they were told
it's a lot.
And they were apparently told that the tunnels were empty. So somebody fucked over the WLF.
Or it just like everything in this world, it just starts to
come back around. Yeah. And so, that started such an intense chase scene where they are crawling through the subway, like not through the subway, but through the train cars that have been kind of like toppled over, and they have to go through like multiple like kind of barriers. And then the last part, which was like the best, was the turnstile gate that like was stuck. And Dina's trying to get through.
They should have had their Metro cards ready.
I don't think it would have worked.
You don't think it would have? You don't think if they didn't have enough money on the card, it might have. Maybe they should have just jumped the gate like every other person.
I think you're misremembering that the gate wasn't jumpable. It was pretty ceiling tall.
I know.
But yeah, that was the moment where somebody or an infected runs up and is basically going to kill Dina, and Ellie's like, nope, here's my arm instead. And that obviously changes a lot for Dina and freaks her the fuck out. They escape, and for some reason Ellie is just like not immediately bringing up the bite on her arm, but I feel like that's the most important thing. You know,
you're in like I gotta get somewhere safe mode, you know.
I feel you.
And I don't think it's really on the top of her mind.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe just be like, I'll explain, and then run.
Yeah.
You know, something, you know.
Right.
But yeah, Dina's like, well, you're gonna turn now, and I have to kill you. And Ellie's, please don't fucking kill me. This will be the biggest mistake of your life, basically. And so Dina basically has like the worst night of her life, staying up the entire night and seeing if like the love of her life is going to turn. And she doesn't. And that's when Dina confesses her secret of being pregnant, and that's when they finally end up together, which was a really nice payoff for the like so much of like just intense like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly I knew Ellie wasn't gonna die. I knew Dina wasn't gonna kill her, but like that when Dina had her at gunpoint was like maybe the most intense part of the whole fucking thing. I was like, this is insane. And I from what I hear, like that moment isn't in the games, maybe because I know like the virus works differently in the games. It's more airborne than like than it is like bite infected, right? But very, very great moment for them to add. One of my favorites in the whole show here.
Well, and speaking of it being a little bit more airborne with the like, I don't know if you saw the next week's
I did
preview. Well,
yeah.
Spores are coming.
Oh, so we're getting real airborne shit now. Okay. Cool. That's fun. I wonder how that'll be dealt with. I'm assuming a lot of people are going to die. Probably a safe assumption.
Probably.
Yeah. But yeah, the ending of the show then kind of teases what they hear on the the walkie-talkie that what is it? That they hear that Nora is like with this group that's going over to Lake Hill, and they go to the roof of the theater they're in, and they see this massive kind of explosion and war start to break out, and Lake Hill is basically right next to it. And so they kind of end on the fact like, hey, you probably shouldn't come, Dina, since you're like the love of my life and pregnant now. But Dina's like, we're in this to the end. So, and yeah, it's a great story. I mean, genuinely, like I'm so looking forward to the next week. I'm, the stakes are as high as ever. The story was great here. We got a great new villain. I'm as happy as I can be at this point with the show.
Yeah, I agree. I'm very happy. I think it's not really feeling like anything's missing. You know, I know Pedro is gone.
Right. But you still have a great duo dynamic.
Like there's a lot of good things going on.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
There's still the like the reason that we're doing this is because of Joel.
Right.
So it's all working for me. I'm not like complete. There's not a moment where I'm like, oh, I don't like this as much, because evidently like this is one of the best episodes that I've seen from the show.
Yeah. And like we said that about episode 2, and there was obviously a bunch of great episodes from season 1. So the show just keeps stepping it up, and props to them for doing it.
Yeah. It also seems like we're going to be in Seattle for quite a long time.
I think I would guess we're going to be in Seattle. I mean, definitely till the end of the season. There's that. I think we're guaranteed to be here for the season. Yeah.
Because of what you know from the story?
I think so.
Interesting. Okay.
But that's all I'll say. I think we're guaranteed for the season. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's our thoughts. As always, thank you for watching and listening to our review. We'll be back with another review next week, and we'll be back with a Thunderbolts review somewhat soon, even sooner than that, hopefully. So yeah, thank you again.
Yep. Thank you. And until next review,